kid, you get asked this one particular question a lot. It really gets kind of annoying. What do you want to be when you grow up? Now, adults are hoping for answers like, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a neurosurgeon. You adults and your imaginations. Project Discovery's ropes course is awesome and slightly stressful. When you're 60 feet off the ground, you have to learn how to handle your fears, communicate clearly, and most importantly, trust each other.
When we're surrounded by people who believe what we believe, something remarkable happens. Trust emerges. Make no mistake of it, trust is a feeling, a distinctly human experience. Simply doing everything that you promise you're going to do does not mean people will trust you. It just means you're reliable.
Trust is the basis in every human relationship and single-handedly the most powerful force of positive energy. Without it, energy can't even be formed. But when it's in place, it unlocks freedom and a peace.
The problem with most organizations, believe it or not, whether it's a community or a culture, is its own success. When an organization is founded, all organizations are founded on the same basic principles. There's some sort of measurement, it's often money, but it can be anything, and then there's time. And when an organization is founded, what they do and why they do it are inextricably linked. There are usually some founder or some small group of founders that are able to put their vision into words.
And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them.
And their passion inspires others to come and join them in pursuit of something greater than all of themselves. And they trust their guts and off they go, and it's an amazing experience.
I'm sorry?
Do you make decisions with your head or with a gut feeling?
Oh, with my stomach, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time, like, this has happened with my eyes closed. Not because I'm that good.
Because you love it.
And certainly not because I'm a magician, because I'm not. It's happened with my eyes closed because I didn't use my eyes. I used my heart the whole time when, you know, making the music that I make. Like, I try and, like, there's always a purpose to it. So you don't need your eyes when you're using your heart.
The problem is, as they grow, as what they do becomes more successful, they can no longer rely on themselves. They have to now hire somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who has to make a decision. Based on what? And what they do starts to grow, that metric. The problem is, why they do it starts to go fuzzy. This is what happened in such organizations like Apple. In 1985, Steve Jobs left Apple, and the company went like this, and Steve Jobs came back.
And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out.
It's the difference between leadership and authority. Leadership tells us why we're here in the first place. They remind us why we came here. Authority tells us what to do or tells us what goal to achieve.
I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life.
A friend is not somebody you check their status. Your network is not on LinkedIn. A conversation doesn't happen on a blog, and you can't have a discussion on Twitter. These are human experiences, and we need them. We need to learn about each other's values and beliefs, and we can't simply do it through the internet.
And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Intuition is usually more right than wrong, though we love to convince ourselves otherwise. Why is it that we value thinking over feeling? I can say this because I have a lot of experience in intuition, in feeling. I have learned to feel my way through life, personally and professionally. I have learned to listen and to hone my instincts.
To people.
Now you understand this is the recipe for humility. When you're humbled, when you realize that there are forces that are far stronger and much more paramount and even, brave and gallant in the way that like all the forces that have conspired to get me to this place, you realize how insignificant you are and therefore lucky. So you don't stick your chest out. You stick your heart out. That's it. My only business is to just show my gratitude and continue to be loyal to my craft. I have no business bragging. I have no business trying to claim a position or say this or say that. I'm only here to assist and be a public servant as a musician as best as I can.
So this is where I'm really happy. Powder Days. And it's a good metaphor for my life, my education, my hack schooling. If everyone skied this mountain, like most people think of education, everyone would be skiing the same line, probably the safest, and most of the powder would go untouched. I look at this and see 1,000 possibilities. Dropping the cornice, shredding the spine, looking for a tranny from cliff to cliff. Skiing to me is freedom, and so is my education. It's about being creative, doing things differently. It's about community and helping each other. It's about being happy and healthy among my very best friends. So I'm starting to think I know what I might want to do when I grow up. But if you ask me, what do I want to be when I grow up? I'll always know that I want to be happy.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like